and this is just me, but it is reality. You're 20 turning 21, averaging 10. You're not in my future.
As a GM?
As a GM, you're about to be a 21-year-old rookie. You're so far. I mean, if I'm gonna have him as a defensive player, okay, cool. But I mean, if I'm gonna make him like a cornerstone, like he is the cornerstone of my future, who's 2021 right now?
But I mean, shit. Think about it though. If from what you just said, if he's averaging 10 as a first-year player, that means he's gonna do pretty good for later on.
Nah.
Wow. So that take sucked. Hello everybody, welcome to Awesome Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already and drop a like on this video. It only takes 1 second and makes a massive difference how this video performs in the YouTube algorithm. You know, I don't really know why I pick or choose what particular clips to react to, but every once in a while one strikes a nerve. And this one struck a little bit of a nerve for me because it's just a very, I think, annoying and frankly ignorant to just straight up what actually results in winning take to have. Gilbert Arenas is somebody who generally I like his opinions. I especially like how real he is about just the differences between the modern game and the old game. I do think every once in a while he gets to a tier of being straight up disrespectful to the quality of older players and all that, but I in general I like his perspective on basketball. But whenever he is wrong about something, then it's I don't know how to describe it. It's like he's really good at being wrong about something when he's wrong about it in a way that just strikes a nerve and genuinely drives a lot of people crazy. He's definitely been a controversial figure since he started doing sports media. I generally like it, but in this case, I do not. What he said about Asar Thompson, I think, is ridiculous for a variety of reasons, and not just for the hypocrisy of it. That is the main thing that I feel like people have pointed out in response to this take, because of course Gilbert Arenas averaged 10.9 points per game in his rookie season. Then he obviously went on to be quite a very good player for a good chunk of time, so obviously that is just inherently a flawed perspective to have. I do think that was partially related to minutes and all of that, but there is an endless list of players who averaged 10 points or less in their rookie season and went on to be excellent players. So the notion of just you're a rookie and you only average 10, I'm not gonna look at you at any capacity from there. Well, it sounds like he'd be a horrible GM. Like if I was a team that was considering hiring Gilbert for a front office position and I heard a take like that, I would drop that consideration. Someone replied to my tweet about this take with a list. So just some names of players that averaged 10 points or less their rookie years: Giannis, Jokic, Jamal Murray, Jimmy Butler, Jaylen Brown, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Harden, and SGA. And throughout NBA history, Kobe, Scottie Pippen, Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, Tracy McGrady, Clyde Drexler, Gary Payton, Steve Nash, Reggie Miller, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Kevin McHale, and Rasheed Wallace. And I'm sure the list is even longer than that. The thing about Asar Thompson is, yes, obviously scoring the ball has not been his strongest suit, I would say. No mid-range game, really no three ball. Three ball looks pretty damn ugly. I think he finishes well enough around the basket, but he's not like some impressive, like he's not doing like Derrick Rose type finishes or any kind of crazy shit like that. Just like he'll finish a dunk on a fast break pretty well. He can do that. He can make a tough layup here or there. But in general, Asar Thompson is somebody who does everything else. And while I am no fan of wings that do not shoot the three ball well, when I see a player who has Asar Thompson's skill at literally everything else on such a high level already, I'm going to obviously work to get that player that jump shot. But one way or the other, a player of Asar Thompson's skill set, if that guy ends up being a okay 3-point shooter, just a league average one. Let's say, you know, fast forward 5 years, Asar Thompson is shooting 5 to 6 threes per game on like 36% shooting, 37% shooting. At that point, in NBA history, I think a starting forward 6 threes a game is probably about average. So that caliber of shooter, and then the rest of the things that he's capable of doing even further developed, you're talking about a very, very good basketball player. Obviously the Detroit Pistons stink, but Asar Thompson is not the reason for that. He's a ridiculously talented rebounder, like so much so that it's like something that dramatically stands out about him. And I'm not one to give a shit about rebounding, frankly. I think the value of it is much less so than it used to be. However, it is valuable, especially if you can get a wing who is that good at rebounding, both offensive and defensive rebounds. You're getting a lot of second chance points. And if you have good rebounding bigs on top of that, your money. You're just gonna kill it on the boards. And Jalen Duren appears to be a type of player who can do that as well. So that's definitely somewhere that the Pistons can reliably be good in the near future. And they should take anything that they can to be even a little bit good, because God knows they have none of it right now. Excellent rebounder, and then one of the best defensive wing prospects I've ever laid my eyes on. Like truthfully, one of the best wing defenders in all of basketball already. And I think we can fast forward a couple of years from now and we're talking about a multiple time all defense caliber guy and potentially even a DPOY level player. I am someone who has said multiple times that I hate when guards win DPOY, but wings are allowed to win DPOY. Wings down to power forwards, down to centers. I just don't think guards should win it because they inherently are not going to be the most impactful defender in the NBA, but I do think you can be pretty close to the most impactful defender in the NBA as a large wing who is as good defensively as Asar Thompson is, especially in a league where like big guards and lead playmakers, as I have hypothesized, is going to become even more prevalent than it already very much is. Having somebody who you can put on Luka, you know, that type of player is going to be very, very, very valuable, especially again if that 3-ball develops. I'll give Gilbert this. I would be worried about the 3-ball. I'm not worried about his points per game. Like how many points he specifically averages is fairly irrelevant. When I'm looking at a first-year player who's as young as he is, who, you know, comes from an interesting background as well, I'm just trying to look at what he can show me right now and how you build upon that in the future. How much any rookie averages is really not all that important to me. That's really for just the Rookie of the Year award. But in terms of actually assessing how valuable a player is, how valuable, why do I feel like I'm saying valuable weird? How valuable a player could potentially be towards your franchise. I'm looking at what Asar Thompson has shown us thus far, and it's all excellent. It's all excellent, and I genuinely believe that he will be one of the better wings, at least in the NBA. And why would you not hold on to that? Why would you not keep that player around and see what you can make out of him? I feel like I haven't even mentioned the fact that he's also a very talented passer. I don't know how high his assist average is, but I know that he makes very good reads all the time. Really impressive reads all the time. So you get me a defensive wing that can pass really well, pretty good ball handler even, strong finisher, excellent rebounder, and one of the best defensive wings in the entire NBA, maybe the best defensive wing even. How is that not a player you want on your team, man? That's crazy. Like when I say this is kind of a dumb way of viewing basketball, just an ignorant perspective on what actually matters. Like, dude, points per game is not that important. Points per game is a way of understanding in some capacity the potential level of output a player can have, but especially from a rookie, I don't think it's that important. And like just in general, how much is your overall contribution, you as a player in the right context, contributing to winning? That's what you look at. And there are many ways to win outside of putting points on the board. I understand why a scoring player's perspective might be that, but sometimes you need a dude who's gonna average 10 points, but just absolutely kick fucking ass at everything else. And that type of player is a player every championship team wants and every championship team needs. So yeah, I think that's silly. I think it's just an ignorant perspective on what's actually important for winning basketball games. Obviously, Gilbert's a player, so maybe he knows more about it, but also maybe he doesn't. But either way, I don't feel too bad saying that this is a dumb take because plenty of people were on my side with this one. I think it's also just a weird thing to say about someone who is as fresh into the NBA as Asar Thompson is. Like, we're giving up on the potential of a player who's been awesome in 20 games just because he hasn't been awesome in one specific category. It's silly. It's just dumb. It's just a dumb perspective to have. And I realize he says like, it's just me or whatever. And that's some sort of escape from any criticism of the comment. But it's like, okay, well, this is a reflection on what your values are in terms of evaluating basketball talent. And in terms of me respecting or understanding your opinion, if you're going to say something that's just as dumb as this is, it's going to make me think less of your credibility. And I understand that works the same way for me. Which is why I have no credibility because I've said so many dumb things. But you know, people still listen to me talk in front of a camera, so I guess here I am. But yeah, I guess that's it. I didn't like the take. I don't like going after a young player this early. But that's it. Goodbye. Or also shout out to Rudy for editing the video, of course. I wouldn't want to forget that.